I leave 5 tomatoes under my garden bushes at the end of August. Every spring, as soon as the snow starts melting, strong seedlings pop up right where I left them. It sounds unbelievable, but it works every year without fail. Before I discovered this simple trick, every February felt like a war zone. I would buy dozens of seed packets, fill trays with soil, carefully plant each seed, thin them out, set up grow lights, and water constantly. Every windowsill in the house was taken over by trays and pots. By the time the seedlings were ready to go outside, most of them were weak, leggy, and pale. They barely survived transplanting, and the harvest never lived up to the effort. Every year, it was the same frustration. Then a neighbor shared a secret that changed everything. It was so simple that I couldn't believe I hadn't thought of it myself. Instead of fussing indoors in February, I started leaving a few fully ripe tomatoes under the bushes at the end of August. That's all. No extra effort, no special indoor setups, no stress. By spring, healthy seedlings emerge right from those fallen fruits. They grow thick stems, deep roots, and dark green leaves. They aren't leggy, they aren't sickly, and they start producing fruit earlier than any store-bought seedlings or indoor-grown plants. Why does this happen? Tomato seeds are incredibly resilient. They survive winter naturally. Even under snow and frost, the soil insulates them from extreme temperatures. In fact, the cold helps them prepare for strong growth in spring. Seeds undergo a natural stratification, which wakes them up at just the right moment. I've tested this year after year, and it never fails. Timing is key. I place the tomatoes in the last week of August. Nights are cooler, fruits are fully ripe or slightly overripe, and even soft or slightly wrinkled tomatoes work perfectly. But only use healthy fruits. Diseased tomatoes can pass on infections to the seedlings. I leave about 5 tomatoes per spot. Less than 3 isn't enough. More than 8 is overkill. From 5 tomatoes, 12 to 15 strong seedlings usually sprout. More than enough for my garden, and enough to share with friends or neighbors. Planting is simple. Choose a spot under healthy bushes where the soil is loose. If the soil is heavy clay, mix in some sand for better drainage. Make shallow holes about 1 inch deep. Press the tomatoes lightly into the soil, cover with a thin layer of soil, and mulch with straw or dried grass. This protects the seeds, keeps the soil moist, and provides insulation. I also take precautions against rodents. Scattering small stones or sharp objects around the planting area deters mice. In October, I check the mulch after rain and add more if needed. In winters with little snow, I cover the area with evergreen branches for extra protection. By late April or early May, seedlings emerge. They are strong, thick, and healthy. Light frosts don't bother them. Not all seeds sprout, typically 35–50%, but the ones that do are robust, hardy, and productive. Never use hybrid seeds, F1 varieties, for this method. They produce unpredictable results. Stick to open-pollinated, non-hybrid varieties. My favorites, Siberian Early, Demidov, and Sanka. They sprout reliably, even after harsh winters. If too many seedlings appear, thin them out and keep the strongest. For unexpected cold snaps, cover young plants with half-plastic bottles. This shields them from frost and helps maintain growth. This method saves time and money. No more buying seedlings, no indoor grow lights, no constant watering. Windowsills are free for flowers or herbs, and the garden gets a strong start every year. Failures are rare, but possible. If nothing sprouts by mid-May, seeds may have rotted or been eaten. In that case, plant a few backup tomatoes in a greenhouse. Over the years, I've shared this method with neighbors and friends. Everyone who tries it is amazed at how strong the seedlings grow, how early they produce fruit, and how productive the plants are. The seedlings grow faster, withstand cold better, and produce fruit earlier than traditional seedlings. No more seedling purchases, no indoor hassle, no stress. Just leave a few tomatoes under the bush and wait for spring. For best results, choose the healthiest fruits. Overripe or slightly soft tomatoes work best. Avoid any signs of disease. Check that the bushes are healthy and free of blight. Proper selection is key to success. Mulching is crucial. I usually apply a layer about 2 inches thick. Straw, dried leaves, or hay works well. Mulch keeps moisture in, regulates soil temperature, and protects seeds from harsh winter conditions. Watering is generally not necessary after the first week of placement, as natural rainfall provides enough moisture. Too much water can cause rot, so minimal interference is best. In early spring, when the snow starts melting, gently remove excess mulch so the soil warms up faster. The seedlings respond immediately to the warming soil and sunlight. Growth is rapid and vigorous. Seedlings from this method are noticeably stronger than indoor-grown seedlings. The stems are thicker, leaves darker, and root systems are deeper. They are already adapted to outdoor conditions, so there is no transplant shock. If too many seedlings appear, I usually thin them by cutting weaker sprouts at soil level. This prevents overcrowding and ensures the remaining seedlings get enough light and nutrients. For extra protection against late frosts, I use simple cloches, half-cut plastic bottles placed over the seedlings. This gives just enough warmth without overheating. I also experiment with companion planting. Planting basil or marigolds nearby helps deter pests and improves the growth environment. These small additions make a noticeable difference in overall yield. Each year, I document the growth and yield. From the 5 tomatoes left in August, I typically harvest over 50 pounds of fruit from the resulting seedlings. That's a huge return for minimal effort. Sharing seedlings with neighbors is also fun. I often give away extra plants, and it's amazing to see their gardens thriving as well. It's a simple method that spreads naturally. No expensive indoor setups, no complicated schedules, no worries about lighting or temperature, just a handful of ripe tomatoes in late summer, natural stratification over winter, and strong seedlings in spring. This method also allows for experimentation. You can try different varieties, note which perform best, and adjust your selections over the years. Open pollinated varieties are the most reliable, but some hybrids can work if carefully selected. For gardeners with small plots, this method is ideal. It maximizes space, reduces costs, and produces resilient plants that require less attention throughout the growing season. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. Nature does most of the work. All you need is proper timing, good fruit selection, and basic care. The results are always satisfying.